Hello friends, thanks for joining me today. The topic is spicy toasty blushes, okay? I got one recently from e.l.f. You may have seen me use it in a video not too long ago. This stick blush, soft glam cream blush. The shade is called Cinemood, and this tone really got me thinking about other options, and also I've been asked for other options too. But see the richness, and then you blend it out, and it's just got this kind of spicy toasted look that really works in with bronzer so nicely. And I thought, you know, I know there's more in my collection that's along those lines that I could recommend, but this was kind of the catalyst recently. I've always liked this tone of blush. I feel like I gravitate to it when I see that offered in a lot of different lines, and I have evidence of that in this little bag. So yeah, let's talk about these. I've got a couple of my recommendations layered up on my cheeks right now, and I'll have to just link to, you know, other videos where some of these others are put on. But Cinemood is really good. I like the texture e.l.f. is working with in these little sticks. In fact, I'm wearing the stick bronzer today in the shade Tan. Really easy to blend. They don't feel ultra juicy as they cross the cheeks, but when you go to blend it in, you almost feel just a little, I wouldn't say a full cream to powder shift, but just a little bit of that feeling of lightness across the skin when you go to blend it, where it's just no struggle. And if you were going to apply a blush this deep that leaves that kind of darkness on your cheek, you need it to be easily blendable for that to work. And granted, you could take your brush to it and apply it that way and kind of soften it a bit more, but I want ease, you know, I want user friendly. So that one I feel is very user friendly. And by the way, on application methods, I love a Sephora 56. This is just my shorter one, but the brush head is actually the true full-size size. And then for my powders, I'm gonna always be reaching for the e.l.f. blush brush. I think it's just perfect shape and size. And I think the nice thing about this video will be like the fact that some of these things are not brand new that I'm recommending, but maybe you've purchased them on my recommendation in the past, and it's like, oh yeah, she's talked about these before. So as for what I'm wearing today, let's start there. I pulled out an e.l.f. putty blush. This is in the shade Bali, and it's perfect for the tone that I'm talking about here. Okay, see that toastiness? It's like bronze and some warmth. It's like somebody dumped terracotta, bronzy brown, and dusty rose into a pot and just stirred it up. It's that kind of tone. And these really have that easy kind of cream to powder blendability on the top of the cheeks. If you've ever felt those, they can sheer out even more than you expect. But I first put that on, I dotted it on my skin, and then I blended it in with my Sephora 56, and it was a really great look. I think that's a wonderful standalone color. All of these shades that I have, the creams definitely have that standalone intensity. You don't need to top them with a powder, but I'm just trying to show you as much as possible today. So I went on with another recommendation. One of the first that came to mind when I was thinking of more things that remind me of Cinemood, I was thinking of Benefit Terra. First off, behold the packaging of Terra if you've never seen this. This is one of their boxed blushes. Check it out. Do you see the tiny goat? Yes, attention to detail. More goats in packaging. Thank you. But this is what that shade looks like, and they describe it as golden brick red blush, and it does have a soft shimmer finish. I don't really think of it as having a shimmer finish because it's so richly pigmented. I'm just not thinking of the shimmer element, but I have that on top of everything, and I think it's so pretty. By the way, I should probably explain my face of the day as well in case you're wondering where this all started. So I decided to go with these two today. I know they're like wildly popular e.l.f. products, but back when I was doing that video on e.l.f. bestsellers at Ulta, you know, I did these, and I have to admit my staying power was really good, and everything felt kind of light on my skin once I got past the application of Power Grip, but these two kind of work good together. So Power Grip Primer, Halo Glow Liquid Filter, shade is 2, I believe, in that for me. And so I ended up having this really glowy base, but of course I'm going to come in and I'm going to do coverage. So e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in Light Peach, and then I'm coming in with my Coty Airspun to set my T-zone and my under eye. So I've really got the coverage that I want, even though I'm really just lightly glowy elsewhere. Then I did use my stick bronzer from e.l.f. Soft Glam Cream Bronzer in the shade Tan. So it's looking like that. Again, easy blend with these e.l.f. products. Oh, I forgot to say, after I did the Coty Airspun, I used some Laura Geller Balance and Brighten, just the regular Balance and Brighten in light to kind of make my skin feel less tacky all over. And then after my cream bronzer, I used use Laura Geller Baked Bronze and Brighten. And that just deepened me up a little more. Always love that one. Then I went in with the two blushes that I just mentioned, the Putty Blush in Bali and Benefit Box Blush in Terra. I did my brows. I used my Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in Java and the Micro Manager Gripping Brow Gel. But then I primed my eyelids with e.l.f. eyeshadow primer, and I just thought, I'm doing bronzer. I want this to have at least some kind of an effortless vibe. So I used my CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer in Caramel Truffle. So this is, if you haven't seen these are kind of baked and swirled and making you think of Hourglass and Laura Geller and all that stuff. And I've just got that all over my lids and in my crease. One shadow look, baby. And then for my liner, it's L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick in Brown Abyss across the upper lash line and a little softer, a little lighter with Magnetic Bronze on the lower lash line. Mascaras today are the Milani Highly Rated Fan Club and e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes. And then my lip, LA Colors Lip Liner in Natural, topped with the Lifter Gloss in Topaz. So that's giving me that shiny, warm nude lip. Let's carry on with some more recommendations here. I had mentioned that the Cloudtopia reminded me of this, and in depth and intensity, yes it does, but this shade called Toasted Sky actually has, I don't know, a hint more of a mauve-y feel to it when I see it worked in. See how it just looks like so rich and deep. But as I look at that blended in next to Cinemood, I'm just seeing a little more like mauve-y pinkness come out of this as it shears out. Not a ton of pink, just like a hint of it is there. More present than in this one. But it's along the lines of what I'm talking about here, what I'm trying to seek out and tell you about and give you more options on. Let's stick with the creams for a minute. Remember, I got this Enco Beauty Blush and Go Cream Stick. The shade Warm Terracotta is definitely what I'm talking about here. Look, this one's got a lot of moisture to it, but it gives you that kind of brown mixed with brick thing happening, and it feels like it's just a step away from bronzer, but just blushy enough to work. It's a good one. Also, don't forget about Tower 28 in the shade Power Hour. This is their Beach Please, their little creams that you can use on lip and cheek. Look, the depth, the richness, it's really actually richly moisturizing and creamy. And that's the essence of what I'm talking about there. A toasty, kind of bronzy blush. Looks so good on both lips and cheeks. Really does the monochromatic thing well. Like, you know, doubling on both. The putty isn't really designed to do that. This I think I've tapped on my lips before and it went okay, but this just like seems like it was meant to be a lip texture as well as a cheek texture. The Cloudtopias are really good about that too because they're so pigmented. And as I was going through my drawers, I remembered this one too, my Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the shade Love. This is really terracotta, big time. See how that's showing a little more orange than some of these others? The others maybe felt more like they were a blushy tone mixing in with tan or brown or bronze, and this one's showing you a little bit more of that oranginess, but really works well. Biddy's here. Hi, Biddy. 6 a.m., 6:01. She's got a bunny on my shoulder. Love you, Biddy.
Mama, subscribe.
It's interesting, as I looked through everything I had, I felt like there were way more actual cream and liquid textures that follow along with this tone I'm talking about, more so than powders. Like I used Terra, and then I've got a couple more, and this one's really on the border for me, this Laura Geller Baked Blush and Bronze in the shade Earthy Bronze. It kind of takes you into the tone I'm talking about, but it's just a little more brownish, kind of muted. It's got some shimmer in it too, and it's looking more mauve-y ultimately. But if you like an earthy blush that goes more mauve and less orange, that might be for you. It's really great, and it's kind of fun how at least mine is swirled in such a way that I've got this like continent over here of brownish bronze, and then I've got this rich, deep and dusty rose mauve. It's very pretty, and there's a lot of shimmer in there too. And finally, I just worked this into my last video, but this Essence Soft Baked shade is Cocoa Glaze, and this does a great job of giving that richness, paired with a really beautiful glow. Like, look at that gleam off of my finger. It's so, so pretty, and this would be another one for those who are like, I don't want to go too warm. If the word terracotta is scaring you in terms of a blush, then you might like something like this, along with that Laura Geller option. You know, it's not too warm, but it's still toasty, if you know what I mean. All of these shades are just really friendly with your bronzers. And one way to make them work in even more is make sure when you're using your bronzer, say you've contoured and you've done the chiseling out, take bronzer and put it like basically where your blush goes, and then layer one of these on top of that, and the merging is just really satisfying there. But yeah, those are just some other picks and options. When I thought about this video, I did have to search through all my other videos and think, have I done this before? Because I feel like maybe I've done this before. I love this tone, and I do feel like Terra, the Soft Bake, the Laura Geller, those could all be nice eyeshadow shades too, really. I've definitely used this as eyeshadow more than once, and I like that. But yeah, thank you for your time, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Keep the requests coming. I love to hear them. I'll see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.